Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play Steins. In the last episode, Rintaro Okabe had a very heartfelt confession to Kurisu Makase concerning her death on the 28th of July on the 8th floor of the radio building, just after Dr. Nakabachi's lecture. Kurisu then attempted to lighten the mood with a rather ridiculous hypothesis about trains and worldlines. And then Mayuri followed through with a phone call wondering whether Ocarine was okay and whether or not she was a burden to him, which Rintaro flatly, vehemently refused to consider in the slightest. Mayushi is never a burden. She may enjoy eating juicy chicken number one and enjoy making costumes, but she is never a burden. And thus, that is why we are here on the first day and not the final day of ComiMa. Of course, the industry booths and cosplay area are still packed, but at least I don't have to wait in line to get in, unlike Mayuri and Daru. I've been trying to get in touch with Mayuri for a while now, but she hasn't responded. I checked with Daru, but he hasn't seen her today either. Cosplay ends at 4 PM. I focused on searching the cosplay area until then, but I still can't find her. Maybe she finished early and went home. Could very well be. I tried calling her home. No luck. They haven't seen her since she left this morning. Well, she's not at ComiMa and not at her house, and I sincerely doubt that she would return to the Future Gadget Laboratory. Given her expression and emotional state and the phone call on the previous episode, there might be only one place that I can personally think of where Mayuri Shina could possibly be. I'm always afraid that she'll disappear the second I take my eyes off of her. It's been like that ever since she lost her grandmother. And I think we finally have the hint as to where Mayushi could possibly be. Maybe it's just my imagination. We've been so close for so long. I saw Mayuri at her weakest and most vulnerable. Maybe that has made me overprotective. But I don't care how other people see us. Not Tanuji and not Kurisu. I just can't leave Mayuri alone. We need her now more than ever. I step into the cemetery, the final resting place of Mayuri's beloved grandmother. When was the last time I came here? Too long. For about a year after Mayuri became my hostage, I practically accompany her here. It's been many worldlines since we were last here. But I don't think I've been here since I entered high school. So it's been about 3 or 4 years. No, I think we were here quite recently. Although, having said that, those events have been rewritten thanks to our jumping worldlines. As I get closer to Mayuri's grandmother's grave, I begin to hear a voice. It's Mayuri. I'd recognize her voice everywhere, anywhere, and everywhere. It sounds like she's talking to someone. It appears that she's talking to her grandmother's headstone, or gravestone I should say. I approach quietly, not to disturb her. And there she is, Mayuri Shina, Lab Member 002, the hostage of Hoenn Kyoma, insane mad scientist. Mayuri is standing there, talking to the grave. I think she's crouching. What a relief. She hasn't disappeared. Not yet, Rintaro. I decide to watch silently from a short distance away.
最近ね、怖い夢をよく見るんだ。
So that's what's been troubling Mayuri. Strange dreams and nightmares. Unfortunately, we were too busy jumping through world lines to notice, but that ends now. I think when it comes down to it, even though Rintaro and Kurusu have been close on the Alpha world line, when push comes to shove, Rintaro Okabe cannot abandon his closest childhood friend. For a second, I wonder if she's learned to commune with the dead. But no, she's just talking to herself.
その夢の中ではね、いつもマユシーはひどい目に遭うの。
In my dreams, bad things keep happening to me.
ピストルでバーンって撃たれたり、車の事故に巻き込まれたり、電車にひかれたり。
Oh dear God. Oh no. So that's what Mayuri has been dreaming about. Oh. Well, part of me shouldn't have really been surprised. The same thing happened with Ferris, with Ruka, and with Morica Kiryu. But it seems that there is no point in keeping Mayuri's death from her, because on some subconscious level, Mayuri Shina is remembering the deaths that she went through on the previous world lines. No point in keeping quiet about it now, Rintaro Okabe. She remembers Morica shooting her, Morica running her down, and even Nai pushing her onto the train. Oh sweet Mike, no. She knows.
すごく痛くて、すごく悲しくて、誰か助けてって一生懸命声を出そうとするけど、出せなくて。
The worst possible scenario, ladies and gentlemen. Mayuri is remembering all the times she's been killed and all the other world lines that we've fought so hard to prevent, to erase.
どうしてそんな夢見るのかな?
I believe we can answer that question for you, Mayuri. Alpha world line convergence. Does she remember her deaths? All of them? Indeed she does. Is she inheriting memories like I do? Well, as I just mentioned, the same thing happened with Ferris. It's not entirely like reading Steiner. She doesn't automatically retain the memories from said world lines right off the bat. But slowly over time those memories of those other world lines are bleeding into this world line.
その夢の最後はいつも決まってるの。マユシーが泣いてるとね、オカリンが助けに来てくれるんだ。
Indeed we do. Unfortunately, we don't save you. The only way we can do that is if we jump to the beta world line, reach 1% divergence, and get rid of the D-Mal that is keeping Kurusu Makase alive.
マユシーはオカリンに とありがとうって言うんだけど、その声もオカリンには聞こえてなくて。
You have absolutely nothing. We are undeserving of your thanks.
オカリンはマユシーを抱きしめてとっても悲しそうな顔をしてた。泣いちゃいそうだけど絶対に泣かなくてね。でも一生懸命我慢してるのがわかるの。
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Mayuri Shina is incredibly perceptive. Come to think of it, both Varus and Rukugo remembered their memories from before the past changed. I used to think that memories couldn't be shared between the worldlines. I used to think that I was the exception with reading Steiner. Indeed you are. I don't think this phenomena is quite the same as reading Steiner. It's similar, but not the same. But maybe that's not the case. Maybe everyone has the same power and the only difference is how strong it is. Maybe reading Steiner is nothing special after all. I would say the ability to retain memories across alternate world lines is pretty special.
だからマユシーも悲しくなってごめんねごめんねって言うけど、やっぱり声は届かなくて。
You have absolutely nothing to say sorry about, Mayushi. You are not the one who should be saying sorry.
そこでいつも目が覚めるんだ。どうしてこんな夢見るのかな。
We tried so hard to protect Mayuri Shina from the truth, but in the end, the truth found a way to get to her anyway. I've failed so many times to save her. I've watched her die again and again and again. Everything I've done has been to prevent that from happening, and yet the world line convergence is laughing mockingly at us once again. Our efforts to shield Mayuri Shina from the truth about her fate on this world line has been absolutely meaningless. And yet have the memories of those deaths been tormenting her as she sleeps. From the expression on her face and the tears in her eyes, I would say certainly. I bite my lip in frustration. I still have a terrible decision to make. Do I save Mayuri, or do I save Kurisu? There's no perfect ending here. I can't save them both. It's one or the other. If I choose Kurisu, then Mayuri's dreams will become reality. I don't want Mayuri to feel any pain. I believe that it is far too late for that, Rintaro. Until now I've thought only of saving her. That is my goal. But at the same time, I can't let Kurisu die. Again, my thoughts hit the same dead end. Mayuri hasn't noticed me yet. She's still staring at the sky, just as she was on the day I took her hostage. She's talking to her grandmother in heaven.
あ、そうそう。最近ラボ面がすごく増えたんだよ。クリスちゃんでしょ、萌香さん、ルカ君、フェリスちゃん、それともう引っ越しちゃっていないけど、すずさん。
And it seems that Mayuri is now talking to her grandmother about all the recent additions to the Future Gadget Lab.
8人だよ。すごいね。
There used to be 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, and now 8. Or 7 in this case. On this world line, they all became lab mems, However, not a single one of them has sent a D-mail. Considering the fact that we erased those of Feiris, Rukuko, and Moeka, that is
最
true.
初はオカリンとマユシーの2人だけだったのにね。
Just Horin Kiyoma and his trusty hostage.
ラボができたばっかりの頃はね、オカリンはあんまり面白そうじゃなかったけど、
I suppose in reality there wasn't really much to do at the Future Gadget Laboratory in those days.
最近はね、とっても楽しそうなんだよ。
Well, we were having fun, and then we decided to mess with the timelines. And now, what we're going through is anything but fun. It's the complete antithesis of fun. Is that how she sees it? Well, she's not entirely wrong. She really does know me, doesn't she?
そんなオカリ
That's
ンを見て
Mayushi
ると
for you.
ね、マユシーも嬉しくなってニコニコできるの。
And yet, at this moment, Mayushi is not happy.
それにね、賑やかだとウキウキしてくるし、
But she still tries to put on a brave face.
特にクリスちゃんはね、アメリカの有名な本に論文が載ったりして、とっても頭がいいんだよ。
This only makes things that much harder.
マユシーは憧れちゃうのです。
So it seems that Mayuri really looks up to Kurusu.
タイムマシンだって作っちゃうぐらいなんだから。あ、これはオカリンとダルくんも一緒に作ってたけどね。
Remembering the fact that the phone wave TBA existed because of Rintaro and Daru. Then Mayuri falls silent. Her gaze becomes distant. She stands still and looks up to the sky. What could she be thinking?
でもね、たまに思うんだ。
Seems that Mayuri has nostalgic feelings for the past.
最初、マユシーが押しかけて
Just Rintaro and Mayuri.
ラボに二人きりだった時のこと。
To keep you here on the material plane of existence.
学校が終わってラボに行くとね、オカリンはいないの。でね、お部屋の片付けしたり、可愛い小物を飾り付けたりしてるうちに、オカリンが少し遅れてやってきて、
Either from university paperwork or dealing with the likes of Mr. Braun.
マユシーがおかえりって言うと、オカリンはただいまとは言わなくて、ご苦労って偉そうに答えてた。
Seems that back in those days, the height of Hoin Kiyoma was very strong in Rintaro
そ
Okabe.
の後は毎日2時間ぐらい2人でぼんやり過ごして、一緒に電車でお家に帰るの。
And it seems like Mayuri wants to go back to those simple,
その
idyllic
2
days.
時間はね、会話なんてほとんどなくて、でも嫌な沈黙とかじゃなくて、ただそこにいるっていう感じで。
So now we are finally seeing Mayuri's feelings
2
in
人で
person.
並んでソファーに座って、オカリンはラボの作戦計画書みたいなのを書いてて、マユシーは漫画読んだりゲームしたりして、
That really hasn't changed all that much, to be honest.
たまに思い出したようにね、一緒にお菓子を食べてた。
Indeed, either cup noodles or instant ramen,
とてもゆっ
or
くり
juicy chicken number one.
優しく時間が流れてて、
Such simplistic days.
それでもいいかななんて思ったり。 まるでマユシーは本当に人質になっちゃったみたいだなとかふと思って一人でえへへって笑ったり、オカリンはニコニコしてるマユシーを見てね、こういうの。
I remember. It was 4 months ago, still spring. The lab wasn't as lively as it is now. It was an isolated bubble of slow-moving time.
何かいいことでもあったのか？
あのね、いいことはなかったけど、あったよ。
そうか、幻想を見たのだろ。それはもしかすると機関の幹部の一人、通称イリュージョンコンダクターからの攻撃である可能性がある。
And there's Rintaro's Trinibio imagination going into overdrive.
そっか、じゃあ気をつけなきゃ。でもね、きっとそのイリュージョンコダクさんっていう人は。
And even then, Mayuri still found complicated things hard to remember.
コダクさんではない、コンダクターだ。
その人はきっと悪い人じゃないと思うな。
You truly are an innocent soul, Mayuri Shina. It was nothing, just meaningless chatter to pass the time.
それはマユシーにはすごく心地よくて、なんだか泣きそうなくらい嬉しくて、このままずっと続いてほしいなって思ってた。
Unfortunately, fate is not so kind.
あ、今の賑やかさが嫌ってわけじゃないんだよ。
Mayuri shakes her head in denial. Finally, she stops looking up at the sky and bows her head instead.
最近ね、オカリンと話す時間ちょっと減っちゃった。
We should actually probably let her finish speaking to her grandmother before we talk to her. But we shouldn't talk to Mayuri.
だからね、マユシーは寂しくなっちゃったのかもしれないね。
Alas, poor Mayushi. We should probably do something about that. It's true, I haven't had time to talk to her lately. But that's because I've been fighting to prevent her death on countless worldlines. To keep her dreams from coming true. All so that Mayuri will keep smiling. I never again want to see her cry like she did on the day her grandmother died.
でもね、オカリンの重荷にはなりたくないんだ。
If it makes you happy, you're a hostage, not a burden. That word again, burden. I've never thought of her as a burden.
マユシーはいつもオカリンに迷惑かけてばっかりだから。
We're not abandoning you at all, Mayuri. It may seem that
おばあ
way.
ちゃん、
Mayuri lifts her face once more.
いつまでもこのままじゃいられないよね。
このままでいい。
It's time to reveal the fact that we've been here the whole time. We're here, Mayuri, and the here and now. When I finally speak to Mayuri, she turns my way with a surprised expression. Her face is so soft, so innocent. Slowly her lips curve into a smile.
オカリンだー。あ、すごいね。どうしてここにいるって分かっ
You wouldn't think that Ho and Kiyoma would lose track of his hostage now, do you? Believe it or not, we've planted a little tiny homing beacon in your pocket
人
watch.
質がどこにいるのか俺は常に把握しているのだ。
人質。
だからお前は俺の手からは逃れられん。絶対にだ。
It's time once again for Ho and Kiyoma to take center stage.
でもね、あんまり無理したらダメだよ。
Unfortunately, we can't make that promise, Mayuri.
マユシーはね、ちょっぴり心配なのです。
You may not believe this, but you have nothing to worry about,
お前に
although
心配され
you
るほど
probably shouldn't believe it.
この法王院京馬はヤワではないのだ。マユリ、話せる時が来たら全て話す。
Indeed, the moment we make it to the beta world line. But I don't know if even Ho and Kiyoma has the resolve to go through with it.
だからそれまでお前は何も変わらずにいてくれ。
We still have need of you. Mayuri stands up and turns to the grave once more. As an offering, she leaves a brand new white lily, as well as some dango dumplings.
オカリ、帰ろう。
Indeed, let us head back to the Future
帰る
Gadget
前に
Lab.
団子を食べるんだろ。
Back when we used to visit the cemetery together, it was part of our daily routine to eat dango on the way back. I've already read all this, so, unfortunately, doesn't appear to have dango, but basically it's a food. Japanese food.
もちろんだよ。
Let us eat. Akiba is empty again today. The otaku have all made the exodus to ComiMa for the second day of battle. And this marks the end of this episode of Let's Play Steins Gate. In the next episode, when we return, adventurers, we shall see if Rintaro Okabe, alias Horin Kiyoma, has finally obtained the resolve that he needs to make his decision, either to remain here on the Alpha World Line and save Kurisu, or to go to the Beta World Line to save Mayuri. As always, until next we meet.